What's good, YouTube? It's your boy IGB from No Bag with another video. As y'all can see by today's title, we're gonna go in depth of how I got my CDL license Class A. I know last video I made was talking about how I graduated and stuff like that, but I didn't really go into depth of how I got my CDL and what I experienced for the last 3, 4, 5 months. So we're gonna jump into the depth of it, and yeah. So first of all, I wanted my CDL about like close to 2023. A couple years ago, I wanted it. I just never had the resources to go and do it. So I was like, you know what? I started looking into more depth of how to get my CDL. You know, paying it out of pocket, going through the schools, or like going through different career paths, or like different warehouse jobs and stuff like that. It was not until like 2024, like I found out Amazon could pay for you through Encore, and I was like, I used to work at Amazon, so it'd be easy to get on the onboarding process. So I put my application in. I went to Amazon. I had to work there for about 3 months first before they could release the funds to me. So obviously I kept a stable, steady job. I was working at also Dollar Store at the same time before I started the school. So fast forward, I start the school. They release the funds, right? Through Encore or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I want to go and get my CDL. You feel me? So before I even did all that, y'all, I had to take the test, right? Mind you, I failed the test twice. Because you know how you get 2 chances to take the test the same day? I did that. I failed twice. And I kept telling myself I'm going to, pass it the 31st. I'm going to, go and pass my test and get it on the 31st, right? Fast forward, a couple days later, I passed my test. It was December 31st, I passed my test. So I accomplished that goal of telling myself I was going to get it before, the new year and stuff like that, before the 1st. I passed my test. Fast forward, like I said, I started working at Amazon. So started working at Amazon. They released the funds to me. I go to the school. It's in Miami Gardens, right? And y'all know from Palm Beach, West Palm, all the way to Miami Gardens, that's a far-ass drive. You feel me? So I drive there, you feel me, each and every day, putting in the work and stuff like that. And I'm putting in the work. It's a lot of, I got to wake up at 4 or 5, like 5 in the morning, because the school starts at 7. And, I shower. It takes a while, depending on traffic and shit like that. So fast forward, we go, I'm going there every day for a week, right? The pre-trips, and we're doing the pre-trips, we're doing the straight back, the maneuvers and all that, right? So the hardest thing for me was the reverse offset. The reverse offset, basically when you move in the trailer, you're going left, it's actually going right, and vice versa, you feel me? So that was my biggest struggle. But what really had thrown me off was the school, the professor, how he was and shit like that. He was a good professor, but he was like, I'll shake you with the wheels and stuff like that. I'll never be able to, drive a truck. And like, I'll fail in the industry because the way I took it. Now, I took it as constructive criticism because, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Not tripping. Fast forward, it's my second week there, right? I'm still messing up on the maneuvers and stuff, but I got the pre-trip down and everything. So, they come to me, they had emailed me, they're like, oh, I can't continue the school no more because I didn't pay the full funds. Mind y'all, I'm doing it through Amazon, so they had paid it for me. And they were like, you have to pay $2,680, dollars to be able to continue the school. And I was like, I don't have that type of money. Then they were like, well, you have to discontinue the school. So I was like, okay, that's fine, cool. And I was gonna go take my test or whatever, you feel me? Despite, me still having, not fully grasped the maneuver of the offset, I was like, I'm ready. I know the pre-trips, I know how to do the straight line back, and it's okay. I'm gonna give myself a shot and go do it. I went, I paid for it and everything, and the school had discredited me. They gave me 0 credit to the point where it was like I never went to the school, but I actually did it. Mind y'all, I went from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., my bad, I said 3 a.m., 3 p.m. every day. And, that's about 80 hours of driving a truck straight and forth. You feel me? That's 80 hours of driving a truck. So that really hurt me when I was like, oh, I have no hours, or et cetera, et cetera. So I was low-key pissed off about that. Ain't nothing I can do, because in their system it says I have completely 0 hours, shows out like I did not do anything, like I don't know any knowledge of a truck. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna find other ways to do it. And come to find out, my homegirl was like, yo, you can do it through a wheel grant program or whatever, go through Career Source. So I had went to Career Source, and I did it, and I filled out the wheel grant and everything. Mind you, I got my CDL through my EBT. So yes, EBT is very beneficial to those people that be like, oh, EBT sucks, EBT this, EBT that. You could use your EBT to do a lot of things. Because if I got my EBT with my CDL and that wheel grant from Career Source, so can you. But fast forward, so I went and I got it, and you feel me? I went and did the wheel grant or whatever. It took like a month or two for them to get back to me. They finally had got back to me. They were like, you're approved for the grant and stuff like that. This is when you start the school, et cetera, right? So fast forward, I went to the school, which is the CDL school in Fort Pierce. I went, and it was from 6 a.m. in the morning all the way to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So we're driving the truck 10 hours straight. And we had the options to either drive, I had the option to either drive in manual or automatic. And I was like, you know what? To beat the hassle for myself and save myself some time, I'm going to do it in an automatic, because that's what I originally started. And you feel me? And for anybody that's going to be like, oh, you got soft hands, I don't care. I'm going to start in what I started originally, and then I'll upgrade it later on, because my goal was just to get my foot in the door and get that CDL, because I worked my ass off for it. And you feel me? So I'm like, I want that CDL. So fast forward, I went and I got, you feel me? Fast forward, I went there every day for 2 weeks straight, did my 120 hours, took my test. I passed on the first try. The only thing I was really struggling was with like the maneuvers, but I finally got the maneuvers down. The pre-trip, I didn't really study too much on that because I knew it off top of my head, because I was doing it every day despite not going to the school after, them dropping me. So that, determination is like, it goes a long way. And I was very persistent on wanting to get my CDL, because I was like, I already have the permit. I got to go all the way with this. And I did. I got the CDL June 5th. Fast forward, at that time, I was living in my car at that time. And so basically at that time, I was living in my car. I was still working at Amazon and McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's. I was still working at Amazon and McDonald's. At that time, when I finished the school, I was all the way in Fort Pierce. So, I had to go back up north. Yeah, back towards West Palm Beach or whatever. So I finally went back. I checked in with my PO officer. Mind you, I'm still on probation at this time. Checked in with her to let her know, She's like, oh, I could have violated you, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. And I was like, oh, shit. You feel me? I didn't know, but at the same time, I was like, honestly, I just wanted that CDL, so I was going to do whatever to get it, which I did. So I was living in my car for like 3 months straight, you feel me? And, it was hard. It was tough, you feel me? It was really hard, but, I still made a way. I made a way to find, putting gas in my car, etc., food, showering at the gyms, you feel me? I would go to the gym almost every day and shit like that, you feel me? So fast forward, I had got into a car accident. It wasn't a big car accident, whatever, but it was like a car accident. And they finally gave me a financial break where I had to sell my car. I gave the car up to insurance, and they gave me the settlement money or whatever. That's when I planned out, okay, I'm going to go live here, which the room I showed y'all, I'm going to show y'all a video of that. But I was staying at for, 3-4 months. Mind you, I had everything planned out already, right? Everything planned it out, everything 3-4 months ahead. Life hits, I can't control what else comes with it once I make that decision, you feel me? And that's what I said. When you make decisions, they come with consequences, whether it's good or bad. It's still gonna follow you. So I ended up getting the settlement money. I buy the Lexus, you feel me? I bought me a 2008 Lexus 350. No, yeah, 350. Fast forward, I'm living good, you feel me? I'm working a good job, you feel me? I'm doing good in life, you feel me? Fast forward, I lose my job. I'm out of the job for a month or two, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what? I have some money saved up, so it's, not too bad, right? But at the end of the day, it was kind of sucky because, like, I didn't really do nothing to lose that job for it. But, like, it was like a scratch on the truck. But, the company started BSing about it. So I was just like, all right, whatever, cool. So I was out of the job for almost like 2 months, right? At that time, at those 2 months, my car was down. So I was basically using Uber and, ordering food off DoorDash and shit like that, right? And at that same time, my phone was broken as well, y'all. So it was like, I was really going through it at that time. And, I just kept praying to God, you feel me, and just turned to God and was like, you know what? I need a financial break. I need something to happen. So I just turned to God and just kept praying and just kept praying. And finally, I kept going to see my PO officer, right? And I see her. She's like, okay, you're almost at your halfway mark. This is the total amount that you owe, and this is what you got to do, right? So, I had went back home, and I was thinking to myself, I have two options. I either pay off my probation and, sell my car, because I'm not going to need the car anymore once I go over the road, right? Which I'm not over the road yet, but I'm going to be soon. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I have two options: sell the car, or pay the rent money and not do nothing. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell the car, pay my PO officer, and leave this place. You feel me? So to my calculation, I did all that. I paid off, all my probation fees and everything to leave. Right. Fast forward, my PO officer was like, I still owe a significant amount. It was like 178. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I paid that 178 off, right? And a week goes by, because it takes a while for the system to update, right? It takes a while. A week goes by, the system's still updated, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. At the moment, y'all, I was staying with my cousin, you feel me? And he was bitching about it, saying, oh, he don't want me staying here, etc. This is why I don't really fuck with my own family, because at the same time, it makes me not even want to have a family of my own, because family's fucked up. So, fast forward, situation had happened, which I believe he lied about the whole situation, which, I'm very confirmed, which he lied about it. But I'm not going to go back and forth with the guy. It's his place. He was like, you know what? He doesn't want me to stay there, right? So he went and put my stuff at a different place where my other cousin found me a place to stay at, right? Mind you, this room stinks. This room's dirty as hell. And I'm like, I'm not sleeping in here. The disrespect. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. So I ended up finding me a little part-time job. It was like a seasonal job where I'll take the bus every day and go, right? So I'm doing that, I'm not complaining about it. Life is it's still hard at the moment right now. So I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm gonna just keep my head up and keep going, right? So I keep my head up and I keep going, and I'm saving money, and I'm doing good, you feel me? I pay off whatever amount that I owe, right, to my PO officer. And I brush my teeth and shit like that at the Dunkin' Donuts, which I'm gonna add a video of everything for y'all. And at this point, I'm just mentally drained, financially drained, mentally drained, just going through it, depression hitting, and I'm just like, at this point, I don't even want to live anymore. So I just keep praying to God, and keep turning to God, you feel me? Because at this point, I'm just like, the only thing that will really benefit me is to get off, probation, and I could do whatever I want, go wherever I want, and not feel like there's a big strain on my back. So fast forward, still going through it, still going through the motions or whatever, fast forward, I go see my PO, one last time, which was last week. She was like, oh, you're off probation or whatever, we're gonna sign you off and everything, right? They disputed the 92 cents that I owed, because the 92 cents was holding me for about 3 weeks, y'all. I could have been off probation 3 weeks ago, but that 92 cents was disputed last week. So my attorney finally, gets everything updated in her system, and now we're just waiting for the judge to sign it and for the state to review it. And y'all probably wondering why I'm sharing all this with y'all. It's because, y'all, I want y'all to understand that this is my testimony, and this is what I've been going through, you feel me? And anybody that's going through anything in life, I want y'all to understand that God is with you in the storm. You feel me? As much as you're working, God is working as well to open another door for you. But you cannot expect God to do everything without you putting in any work and without you being disciplined of what you want, because your goals are your goals, and nobody else is going to see the dream or the vision that you want. And honestly, y'all, 2025 must have not been my best year, but I'm not complaining. I'm not, bitching about it. It is what it is. I'm going to just keep my head up and keep going, and I tell y'all the straight truth, raw truth of how it is. You feel me? I'm never going to sugarcoat my life, fake a lifestyle for y'all. You feel me? I'm going to tell y'all straight up how it is, because this is my story and this is my testimony. And I want anybody out there, that's going through something, if I could do it, get my CDL while I'm homeless, while not having a car, while going to take a bus every day to get a job, so can you. I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, this, that, financial gains, this. Because if I could do it with no financial help, with no family help, and by myself taking the bus and having to walk everywhere I need to go, so can you. You feel me? And I'm not doing this, saying this to belittle someone or like try to make it seem like I'm the best person. No, I'm still struggling every day, and I know I'm gonna keep struggling despite if I make it in life, because problems are gonna come. One thing you can't run away from is problem, death. You feel what I'm saying? Those things you can't run away from, and you can't run away from aging. It's gonna happen regardless. So y'all stay blessed, y'all stay woke. IGB fam out. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in 2026. I'll probably upload this video about a couple days later, or next week somewhat, or whenever. But whenever I do decide to upload this video, if y'all made it all the way to the end, I love you. You stay blessed and you stay woke. Don't you let nobody disrespect you. Don't you let nobody ever put you down. Because I've been down for too long. I've been taking disrespect from people. I've been, homeless. I've been going through it, moving, paying rent, people, and just constantly getting disrespected. Main reason why I went and got my CDL was because I wanted to live in that truck and to be able to get that financial freedom back and to be able to not go through the disrespect with nobody else. You feel me? And honestly, my goal is just to get in the truck at this point. I don't care what company it is, because I'm just sick and tired of going through the disrespect. I love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. IGB fam out.